So our idea is to be able to make blockchain very usable and down to the grassroots. If I may ask, a lot of you, when I say blockchain, the first thing that might come to your mind is cryptocurrency. True or false? Exactly. If you've not heard me before, when I say blockchain, the first thing is cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency is just one of the byproducts of blockchain, okay? And our aim as Eternity, as a company, is to be able to have students like you, professionals, and okay, so to have students, professionals take advantage of these innovations and create real-world applications and all of that. So, please, can we have the slides roll now? Okay, so like I just said, so a blockchain, the common example or the common definition you would have is blockchain are distributed ledgers that permit you to do transactions in a distributed manner, and then of course have traceable transactions, okay? Now, but to me, this classroom is a perfect example of a blockchain. We have an entry, like almost all of us came into this building through this door. So for instance, if we were not granted access into this door through that door, can we ever come into this building? We cannot, okay? So now a blockchain is a ledger that permits you to store records and then pick them out at any time, okay? And of course, it should have a decentralized characteristics, and of course, it should be very open to people. It can be permissioned or permissionless. Thank you very much. So it can be a permission or permissionless blockchain. Permission in the sense that you'll need a special accessibility, or you'll need some special permission or access into the blockchain. Or you can decide to make it open source. And I'm sure almost all of us here understand what open source is. We're developers, we're computer scientists, so we should relate to this term. Now, open source is just a platform where everyone can contribute to the growth of the system, okay? So this is just a graphical representation of what the blockchain looks like. Now, these are blocks, okay? This from the name, blockchain. So these are representation of a block. This guy, who is Kelvin from UJ. So this is Kelvin from University of Jos, and he's writing his codes, okay? So for instance, the first code he wrote is, my name is Kelvin from University of Jos. And he stores it on the blockchain, he deploys it on the blockchain. What this does is it stays permanently. He cannot erase this, he cannot change anything here. That's one of the advantages of a blockchain. So you can't do anything about this. If you deploy it, it's deployed permanently and it stays there. Then the only modification he can do is to write another block, okay? And then this is the second. So these whole blocks are linked cryptographically to one another. So this is just a simple graphical explanation of what the blockchain looks like. So okay, now Eternity. How many of you know what Bitcoin is? Yes, thank you. Okay, what about Ethereum? Okay, what about EOS? Okay, which one again? Huh? AE. Okay. Okay, what about AES? Okay, it's Eternity. So now, Bitcoin was the first to announce the power behind blockchain. Okay. Now, when Bitcoin came up, That was when a lot of people started connecting to blockchain and the technology. But the technology has been in existence for a very long time. Cryptography has been in existence for ages. People didn't take advantage of it until when Bitcoin was announced. Okay? Then, after Bitcoin came Ethereum. What Ethereum was doing is saying, okay, rather than just having, sorry, let me just use this. So this is a blockchain platform. So rather than just storing this, rather than just having this for drinks or for liquid alone, can we open this top, okay, and then make it a container where we can store other things like solid things or different things aside water. That's what Ethereum came and did to the blockchain platform. So instead of just having a container that is meant for liquid and being used for only liquid, let's also innovate and then make it different. So Ethereum came and said, okay, can we write smart contracts on the blockchain, just like you have normal contracts, where you can sign a contract between two parties, and you have conditions, that those two conditions must be met before the contract is executed. Before we used this auditorium for 2020, there was a condition that was given by the school authority, right? We can't just walk into this building, you know. So Ethereum now came up with that, but there are limitations again. Eternity now said, okay, since all these guys are failing in terms of scalability, usability, and other functionalities, can we grow out of what they are failing? Eternity now came up with. So Eternity is actually a Web 3.0 platform, and then it's open source. So all of you can participate on Eternity. Now Eternity came up and said, okay, since Ethereum has an issue with scalability, can we solve it? And they said, and of course, Eternity pulled the shot and solved the issue of scalability via a functionality called state channel. How many of you are enjoying using your bank account from your house? Like, you enjoy using your bank account from your house. Today I made a couple of transactions on my phone. I didn't have to go to, I used GTB, so I didn't have to go to GTB to make transactions. And how many of you have been using, maybe from yesterday to today, you've used your bank account on your mobile phone? Before today, how was it? Or before now, before 5 years ago, how was it? How did you do transactions? You had to walk into a bank. True or false? Now you walk into a bank and then you write a check, or you use that deposit slip or withdrawal slip to write a check and get your money out, or you deposit your money. Eternity, that is how Ethereum is operating so far. But Eternity, so look at Eternity as the same bank that you operate with 5 years ago, that you didn't have a mobile app or a USSD functionality to spend your money without necessarily going to the bank. Eternity is now has developed a mobile bank account, a mobile bank app for you to enjoy your money in the comfort of your houses. So right now, we can all pull out our phones and say, okay, let me send 50K to all of us. Okay, you give me your account number, then I send you 500, you give me. So this is what Eternity is doing. This is how Eternity is making a lot of people be on the blockchain, even when Ethereum and others are not necessarily doing so. Okay? Also, the issue of governance. Now, coming to a consensus on the blockchain has been an issue where there are quite a lot of manipulations. Now, Eternity has decided to reduce that by making governance and usability, of course, very easy. That's the more reason why on Eternity you can actually write, or you can perform a transaction on the blockchain by not necessarily being on the blockchain, not necessarily being on chain rather. So the node might not be on chain, But of course, you can be carrying out a transaction even while the node is off chain. Okay? But once the node comes online, then those transactions are being automatically it synchronizes. Okay? Now, efficiency, real world data. Now, this functionality as well is something that has not really been in existence on the blockchain. It has really not been in existence. But Eternity came and pulled the shot as well. So you can have prototypes stored on the blockchain, okay? Where like real world data, you have them stored. So if this is a prototype and I want it to be stored on the blockchain permanently, all I need to do is to probably maybe program or have a programmable version of it that I can connect to the blockchain and then it's stored there permanently. And of course, contract security. So one of the things that I want to share with you is this. As developers, as problem solvers, as solution innovators and all of that, Eternity has a funding, or maybe you can call it a startup funding program, okay? Where Eternity fund, we call it Starfleet. Now, Eternity incubates you from the start of, from the start of the funding till when you stand on your feet properly. How does Eternity do that? So I run a startup called maybe Tweety, okay? And I've developed the startup, I have all the systems in place, everything put together and all of that. Then I don't have the necessary finance to scale. So you can just come to Eternity, apply for an incubation process, and your startup, of course, will be incubated. After you're being incubated, you are giving funding in the process of the incubation so that you can actually stand and be an excellent startup in terms of blockchain and its usability. These are some of the prototypes or some of the projects that Eternity has funded so far. And actually they are doing very, very well. In fact, this Safe Ride Africa and this Utu in Kenya, these guys have been really breaking grounds. You can imagine building a solution. Now, let me tell you a little of what Safe Ride Safe is doing. Ride Safe is an insurance program for those of you from Fulafia, you have quite a lot of bikes in Lafia. And imagine if you design a prototype a prototype that gives an insurance to all the bike Okada riders. This is just an example of what these guys have pulled, okay? So they were able to design a system where Okada riders can have an insurance where when they get knocked down. Previously in Plateau State, when you hear someone say, I want to go to Ward 1 in June, you should know that is an accident-related issue. An accident-related that is specifically connected to Okada riders. So there's this problem in Kenya as well, okay? And of course, East Africa, when you go to East Africa, there are quite a lot of bikes. I think the number of Okadas are more than the number of taxis you find in the city. So this guy was able to pull out this solution, and he was funded about 250,000 US dollars. That's like 86 million naira for him to make this come live. Okay? And then of course, for people to be able to subscribe, and so he was actually incubated by Eternity. And these guys as well, they work, basically what they do is to provide data security. This Utu is also in Kenya. What they do is they provide data security so that
your data can be saved, and of course they teach you how to use the necessary data you have to be able to be very secured and all that. So these guys have been, recently they signed a Google deal, or is it Microsoft deal, okay? In addition to the funding they got from Eternity, I think they got about 200,000 as well. They participated. So you might be able to come up with a prototype and connect to Eternity very easily. I mean, very, very easily. University of Jos, the computer science department, of course, was able to pull out a voting app, voting prototype, of course, on the blockchain, whereby the first blockchain election in Africa took place on the blockchain, took place in University of Jos. The current sitting, am I wrong? Is it NACOS? Yeah. NACOS. Okay, so the NACOS officials, 4 of them, or 5 of them were voted on that platform. It was completely on the blockchain. I mean, completely on the blockchain. So there are quite a lot of things that you can innovate and deploy on the blockchain. And of course, away from Eternity and then far from Eternity, the space is very young. We have quite a lot of things to do, like quite a lot of things. You can imagine if you're able to pull out a solution that you get your transcript. How many of you have ever applied for a transcript here? Okay, so how many of you, please? How long did it take you to get a transcript?
The transcript I collected was for secondary school.
Oh, for secondary school.
3 months.
For university? How many? Yes?
A month.
A month. Okay. That's even when?
Last year.
Last year. Okay, before last year, it would probably take you 5, 6, 7 months for somebody, because someone somewhere is not doing his job correctly. So it's taking unnecessary, it's not even supposed to take 1 month for you to get transcripts. It shouldn't take you 1 month. So for instance, someone seated here is able to pull out this solution. You are doing yourself good, I think. And then, of course, you are even writing your name in gold. Just recently, I confirmed from 2 people. One is living in the US, the other one is living in UK. When we were discussing about what I do and whatever, and I told them that one of the solutions we were able to pull together was the Univote application that was used in University of Jos. And of course, the first, like I told you, the first to host a blockchain election in Africa. So the guys said, oh, okay, so you were the one. It made the news, and we never knew who was behind it. Oh, so I'm happy. So, you know, of course, I was now feeling very important, you know, and of course, those guys behind the whole thing are also feeling very important. But besides that, you are writing your name in gold, just like Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin. Nobody till tomorrow knows the founder of Bitcoin, but he has created value. If today you have 1 million naira and you plug into, this is not a financial advice, by the way, you plug it into cryptocurrency, a valuable cryptocurrency, say maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even Eternity's crypto, you plugged it there, I bet you, from now to the next 3 years, you would have made more money than your bank would keep your 1 million for you. All thanks to Satoshi, that some of us made very quick money using blockchain and cryptocurrency. I know a lot of students. Right now, I'm working with some students from different universities that are keeping themselves employed. Okay, so this is something that you can do. This is something you can dive at. This is something you can keep yourself busy, keep yourself employed. As computer scientists, I just dropped off the call with somebody here in Abuja, and they are looking for a solution. Two people actually, I've been in Abuja since on Friday last week. The only reason why I've been here for this long is because some people are looking for solutions and we can't find blockchain developers in this city. I've met only one, and the person wants the developers from here. In the entire country of about 200 million people, we don't even have up to 1,000 blockchain developers. But it's a space that has enormous opportunities. We can grow the potentials. It doesn't have limit, actually. Okay, so my call to you and from eternity is that, okay, this is our beautiful office anyway. Sorry. This is on. Okay, so my call to you from eternity and from me personally is that we want to grow you guys into blockchain developers. We have the avenues. I've been to several universities, and we are willing to still come back to your university as long as you are willing to learn. Eternity is willing. We have the resources, we have what it takes to actually bring you up on board. By the way, if you don't know, Eternity gives incentives about $75. It used to be $100. Then we have quite a lot of people coming, so we reduce the incentive. We pay you just to train you to become a blockchain developer. Yes, wow. Say it again. Say it. Say it, yes. So we pay you $75, which is about 28,000 naira, just